In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question whether we're live.
Trust nothing. We're not live.
We are live right now. I want to say, Crypto Fam, we have been speaking to ourselves for the last, 3, 4, 5 minutes before Miguel said, hey, hold on. I'm like, bro, I'm on a roll here. What? Then he's like, we're not live. And I was like, oh, that's a problem. Okay, well, let's dive back into it. So to kind of kick it off again, welcome. It's Monday evening. Miguel and I had a day of days today. We are super excited to share that with you. Actually, we're not going to share about our day. I lied. Case of the Mondays. The day was kind of crap. We were talking about that a little bit, but hey, we're here. We're super excited about the stream. Miguelito, what is on the podium for this evening?
So for the second time, we got Kwon still on the run, right? He's still
running.
Run.
He's been running for the last 5 minutes.
He's still on the run. We've got now I'm forgetting, but we've got Robert Kiyosaki talking about all markets massive crash incoming. Yep. So stick to the end of the video to get that nice piece of information. It's going to be massive. And then in the meantime, you're going to be hearing about Nexo getting hit by some enforcement laws, which doesn't sound very nice.
A lot of people are breaking laws around here. And as I said earlier, it is illegal, if you didn't know, to not be in our Discord. So don't get fined, don't get ticketed, don't get arrested. Make sure you're in the Discord. We have another clue that's coming for you. So make sure to stick around for that. It's not coming during the stream tonight, but we got another clue coming. We're going to try to take that next step towards figuring out the riddle. If you like riddles, if you like puzzles, if you like alternate reality games, jump into the Discord. We've got some things kicking back off. I do want to throw out there also, as I was off the majority last week and had some technical issues, whatever the case may be, we're going to be rocking and rolling back into it. So we're super excited to dive in. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, doing all the social things and what have you. So with that being said, let's take a peek at the markets. We'll start there as we always do. The markets say, let me update it just to make sure here. We have got the global crypto market cap is $937.25 billion with a B dollars. That's up 1.36%. Bitcoin just over 19K, up 2.25% at 19,208. ETH at 1334, up about 3%. Anything else going on really in the top 10? Solana's up 3.5%. That's probably just because they stayed active, stayed on for maybe 3-4 days straight. That probably helped. And then just outside of the top 10, Polkadot trying to make another little run at it, up 5.69%. Guys, I got to tell you, we're here for entertainment purposes, but entertain yourselves with some of these prices, because I'm telling you, some of these blue chips, you're going to look back and you're going to say, what was I thinking? Why was I not getting more involved? And I want to just say one more time, it works. Dollar cost averaging does work. There's a lot of opportunity right now. Don't miss it. Don't look back. I looked back to 2017 and I really did dive in, but I look back and I'm like, why didn't I do more? Yeah. Why didn't I do more? Why?
It's this spell that the market has over people, right? It's so down and boring for so long that you start to become numb to it. And then you think, well, these prices are going to last a lot longer. So I'll hold off. And then you forget, you don't have like a realization of how much time has passed. 6, 7, 8 months go by and you're still like, yeah, we still got some time. I'll buy some later.
Yeah.
I'm buying some other stuff in real life, yada, yada. And then out of nowhere, boom, things snap back into action and rocket off. And you're like, oh man, it's so much more expensive right now. I'm going to wait for it to come down and then I'll buy. And then you end up buying the top.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The top was in November of last year. Guys, it is almost October. It's been almost 11 months. We're coming up on a year since we had that top. So that's why Miguel's saying, pay attention to that. That's why I'm saying, just understand it is boring. But sometimes that boredom, instead of letting it lull you to sleep, put together something that's not fun. Put together something like a budget. in the crypto space. It's something that I actually have thought of doing, writing out an actual budget for my crypto projects, because there's projects right now that I see at such a discount that I'm like, man, I probably need to diversify even a little bit more, because there are some opportunities. Somebody asked in the chat, they said, thoughts on DOT or Atom. We don't generally just dive in, but I'm gonna answer it. I like Polkadot. I think Polkadot's going to be something. Interoperability is the name of the game as it relates to Polkadot. How can you look at something like that and say these blockchains don't need to be able to communicate? Yes, they do. So I think that that's a great project. I don't know as much about Cosmos. Maybe you.
I mean, Cosmos is the same thing. They're competing in the same space, right? So it's a hedge against your bet. Who's going to make it? Is it going to be Polkadot or is it going to be Cosmos? So it's a way of hedging, right? Just how there's a lot of metaverse coins, there's a lot of layer 1 coins. It's a way of hedging your bets on who's going to be the more competitive interoperability layer. So they're both perfectly fine in my book.
Well, speaking of where the markets are at, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You want to show a little TA? We got anything going on the charts?
I'll show something. But before I show something, I just wanted to say one of the things I like about Coinbase, even though Coinbase has a lot of faults that I don't like, but if you do want to do this dollar cost averaging, right? This is never financial advice. Like Nick said, we're here for only entertainment. It has a little. I'm sure maybe other exchanges have it, right? Like maybe Crypto.com or something. I'm not sure. I don't use Crypto.com, but I do know Coinbase has it. Not Coinbase Pro, just Coinbase. It has a little auto buy button that you can set up a timer and say, hey, every week, every 2 weeks, every whatever time frequency, buy X amount of X of whatever asset you choose. And it's just a way to not have to mentally remind yourself. It's just doing it for yourself. Hey, I'm going to put $100 every month into this asset. Bam, bam, bam. You're always buying, and you don't wait for that last minute. Like, oh, I missed it. I should have been buying that whole time, right? But yeah.
It happens all the time, man. I really do look back and ask myself, like, why was I not even going harder? But it is scary at the same time, because most people are investing money that they're saying, well, I could do X, Y, and Z with this too. And it gets to the point where it's like, but I just want to say that I'm glad that I did what I did, and just sometimes wish that I would have even done more. So what's the charts telling us, Miguelito?
Yeah, give me a second here. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, while you're pulling that up, I just want to remind everybody, the merch store just is popping, is rocking and rolling. Make sure you can just go on to dangerclosealpha.com, and it says there's literally a tab that says merch store. Jump in there, check that out. DCA 22 will give you 22% off. So just throwing that out there if you guys are looking for some extra merch or just any merch. I got a DCA hat on right now. This thing's pretty freaking fire. I love it. They're nice products. I like the stitching on them's nice. They're great. I like them.
Yeah, dude. So here we go, right? We're still in this regression trend. We've been in this regression trend. We're not going to break out of this regression trend anytime soon. So like this says, the trend is your friend until the end. And we've just been hugging this heart line. And I kind of drew this out here the other day when I was on live on TikTok. And, I so far got 2 lines, got 2 candles right on it. Right, we could continue just hovering down here and going all the way down to this 14, 15 price point that people are talking about for Bitcoin, and just have a slow bleed for the next couple of months. We have the elections coming up. Things are kind of just wonky. They're talking about more interest rate hikes. So could we see more of this? Yes. Could we see something like this up here? Right, just slowly going up as well. Yeah, but where is that going to take us? Let me move this out of the way. That would take us to 21. Right now, we moved all the way up here. That would take us to 21, 22. Right, we would have to break above these levels and stay above this upper band to maybe start creating a new trend reversal from the regression trend in an upward momentum. But until then, we're gonna be. You could definitely hit up here, come right back down, and just chop it all the way. Who knows how much longer this is going to last? But that's what we're going to talk about tonight, right? What is coming? What is looming with Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah, for sure. And when it's staring in the face, it's scary. But again, oportunidad, it is definitely there as an opportunity. So let's dive into it. Let's talk a little bit about Kwon first. Let's see
before we dive in. Somebody says when you got 4 likes, guys, smash the likes.
4. We got 47 people in here.
Exactly. Come on, guys. Come on. We can do better than that.
Let's all have a moment of silence for the channel. Debate Crypto is dying currently because we've got 50 people in here and we can only get 4 likes. As a reminder, if you're wondering, some people honestly don't know this. We need to remind people every time. X out of the live chat, just real quick, just a little X. And then you hit the like button if you're on mobile. That's how it works. You literally just have to X out. I know it's annoying, but it's how it works. So please, please, please tell YouTube, hey, I love these guys. We support them. We would appreciate it. Okay, let's get into it. Where is my, here we go. Let's talk about Kwon. This is actually a short article, but I have some thoughts on this. Interpol, yeah, that's pretty much what the article says. Issues red notice for Kwon. There's Kwon himself. Doesn't he look so innocent though? Aren't you? Isn't this like your like college roommate that's like never been to a party and like he just doesn't look like the guy that maybe people are suggesting he is. Interpol has issued a red notice for Terraform Labs co-founder Kwon, according to a report from Bloomberg. Kwon has yet to issue a statement via Twitter, but prior tweets, he has maintained that Terraform Labs is defending itself in multiple jurisdictions. He says, unless we're friends, have plans to meet, or involved in a GPS-based Web3 game, you have no business knowing my GPS coordinates, Kwon tweeted earlier. It was thought that Kwon was in Singapore, where he maintains a residence, but police have confirmed he's not there. Prosecutors in South Korea have previously said that Kwon was obviously on the run and not cooperating with investigators. Miguel, I would ask this. Is he genuinely on the run with the technology that we have today? I know that he's become very wealthy, this, that, and the third. Or is this a play, another play on the crypto space to make somebody in a bad way in the crypto space? When I see this, I wonder, I'm like, listen, he might have a ton of money, but this does not look like someone that is actively a fugitive. And I'm not just looking face value. I'm saying as a whole, the things that I've heard, seen, read, whatever the case may be, I just don't see somebody that's a fugitive of justice. I wonder, is this really part of the game? Is this part of the make crypto look bad, make people in crypto look bad, make them all look like fugitives, make them all look like bad guys, and they're out to get you, and they're gonna steal all your money and run away? So stay away from crypto. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, this is the poster child of things that you don't want to see happening in the crypto market. So because now entities from authority figures can point at this scenario with the Luna crash as one of the biggest black swan events to occur, and how you need protection, you need safety. You need safety, and there's all these terrible actors in the space, and they're all trying to just launder money and scam you. And I don't know what type of investigation is going on into him personally and where that stands, whether he is on the run or not on the run. But it is they can print titles like this, Kwon on the run, and whether it's true or not, there's nothing happens. Nothing happens if it's a false headline, right? It's just a headline. It's just about getting views and clicks into the article, and for us to come out here and talk about it, right? That's what these media news wants. Whether it's true that he's on the run or not, it doesn't matter. And even if they were to prove that he's not on the run, nothing happens to the media company for printing something like this. So it is one of those perfect things on how to get headlines, how to get attention, how to get views, and how to make crypto look bad during the bear market, right? It's just another way to point fingers. When the bull market occurs, or when they want a bull run to happen, they stack up nothing but good articles left and right. And they completely ignore any negative stuff, right? Like, why weren't they talking about any of the negative stuff that has already happened before it happened? Right? A lot of people knew. Some people were pointing out the finger like, hey, watch out for this. Hey, watch out for this. And nobody was highlighting those warnings. They just waited until after it happens. So now let's, beat a dead horse constantly.
Yeah, it does make you wonder. I saw it was actually on a TikTok clip. It was a long clip, and it was showing Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan. It was a TikTok clip, a 3-minute TikTok clip. And it talked about how essentially their third-party fact checkers were, how basically he suggested that, and not suggested, he flat out said it, that Twitter was just flat out not talking about the laptop issue, right? Yeah. They didn't take that approach. What they did was they had a third-party fact checker, check that information, and then they just listed purposely way lower. Basically, they ranked anything to do with that incredibly lower. And then I think he probably lied about it, but he said he didn't know how much lower, which I'm sure he probably knows how much lower. Of course he knows, right? Like basically make it not show up. What I'm getting at is that they don't get in any trouble for posting or lack of posting when there's information. Like, man, we're not going to get in trouble tonight, so we're not going to dive into it. But this is the tip of the iceberg. Let's say that they are just trying to manipulate headlines and he's not actually on the run and whatever. It's a smudge on his name. It makes him look like he's a bad person, blah, 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 blah. But our media has lied to us and people have died. A lot of people have died. Okay. Where's the accountability? That is my question. Where and when are people going to be held accountable? That's what I hope doesn't happen to the crypto space, to where it's able to be talked about with such just, anger and fervor and, just disgust. Get it out of here. It's bad. It's terrible. To where it like, listen, if they're able to bring it down to where, just absolute, bottom of the barrel numbers, and we're still buying blue chip projects, hey, I'm not going to be too mad about it, but the reality is it's full on manipulation, and the media is the finest at doing that. So I would question just in this regard, is that what's happening or not? And we will find out. They will. Listen, you can't hide anymore in 2022. Let's be fair. You might have a ton of money, but I think you would have a very hard time blending in and hiding, especially when your face has been plastered everywhere on planet Earth and you're, a billionaire. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I just hope that he's not being, I hope that he's not a pawn in a bigger game of chess, because I think that sucks.
I definitely think he's a little bit bigger than a pawn, maybe like a rook.
He might be a rook. Yeah, one of the two. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey, as a reminder, guys, we've got 56. Hold on, let me pull this up. We have 56, I think is the number, bags left, bug out bags. Here's an example. Some of the bug out bags right here. These are just some that are for sale on the open market right now. We got 56 of those happening right now. Those are the last 56 before 56 left before drum roll. Miguel, what happens? Tell them what they've won after those 56 bags disappear.
You get nothing. Absolutely nothing. You just go home and have a great time. No, just kidding, guys.
That was not the plan. You get a $2 super chat from Billy. Says flat smack the like button. We're going to send that $2 your way when those 56 likes or when those 56 bags end up getting sold. No, Billy, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, brother. What is Miguel the game plan?
Just wanted to clarify. It's not about selling 56 bags on the secondary market. It's about 56 more bags to be minted off our website in the Danger Close Alpha website, dangerclosealpha.com. So when those last 56 get minted, the team, right, the faction, whether it's a merchant faction, the hunter faction, the engineer faction, or the medic faction, literally has minted the most out of those last 90 bags. One team is going to be selected, the winning team, right, with the most of those bags. It's going to be selected, and then somebody from that team is going to be selected to win half an ETH. That's right, guys. You heard it here. Half an ETH, which is currently what? $700?
650-ish bucks, something like that.
Yep. So listen, we're at 1,333 right now.
Doing some quick math. If there's 50-ish people that are in the faction game, by the way, we need a lot more people to get into the game. I'm telling you, get there. It'll be fun. We've got the teams kind of getting together, having little conversations, helping each other. We've got lots of games to come with that. But if every person in there, what do we? So we have 56 bags left. Yeah. So basically, if everybody in there spent about, I guess ultimately it's like $30 is essentially what the number is. It's actually a little bit less than that, but about in dollars, $30. Somebody then, so your $30 lottery ticket, so to speak, if you want to look at it that way, you obviously get into the game, you get to do a lot of other stuff. There's other plays there, but it gives you an opportunity to win like $650 right now. So I don't know, love to do it. Love, hopefully that's hopefully that's
just the first mission of many to come for the faction game. Right. So get ready.
That's right. And again, we've got a clue to come today or tomorrow. I need to double check, see where we're at. I've been checking, for those of you that are wondering, I've been kind of watching the Cypher chat. So I'm paying attention to it. You guys are really thinking strong, but we're just not quite there yet. So let's get into it. Let's head on to the next article. Where is the Nexo article? I swear I've got it.
Guys, everybody, make sure you stay to the end of the video. And we're going to be talking about Robert Kiyosaki and the massive crash that is looming, according to him, that's coming from all markets all around. We're not just talking about crypto. We're not just talking about real estate. We're talking about all markets in total. So make sure you stay to the end for that and continue to smash those likes. Nexo, where they at? They already under, under lockdown. They came and find
No, I found it. I wanted to take a quick second to say thank you to Sauce Boss. Says thank you guys for always putting out amazing content. Sauce Boss, we appreciate you for always being here. We see your name a lot, so thank you. But yeah, stick around to the end, guys. We've got some good alpha to put out there as it relates to the markets overall, not just the crypto markets, real estate markets, the whole shebang. Crypto lender Nexo, hit with enforcement actions from 8 states. New York Attorney General Letitia James's lawsuit says Nexo is, quote, falsely representing that it complies with the state's securities regulations. Okay, let's talk about it. State securities regulators in California and several other states took action against Nexo, the parent company of crypto lender Nexo, on Monday, calling the company's earn interest product an unregistered security. These crypto interest accounts are securities and are subject to investor protections under the law, including adequate disclosure of the risk involved. California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation said in a press release. The DFPI release mentions Nexo's interest rates of up to 36% are significantly higher than the rate on short-term investment grade fixed income securities or bank savings accounts. I wonder why. Regulators wrote in the release. Nexo CEO Anthony Trenchev told Decrypt in a text message that the company has been working with federal and state securities regulators to make its earn interest products compliant. Since the SEC guidance on earn products, dubbed the BlockFi order in February 2022, Nexo has voluntarily ceased the onboarding of new U.S. clients for our earn interest product, as well as stopped the product for new balances for existing clients, Trenchev said. Okay, so when we look at this, Miguel, I understand why. I do get why they're coming in and throwing out there, hey, you need to at least let people know the risks involved. And if we look back to DeFi summer, what was happening? Was any of that really happening? Hell no. You would literally get on anywhere, and it was like, let's even just look at Terra Luna. On Anchor Protocol, 20%. When you and I looked at it, and we were looking at putting some of our money, the business money, into that. And what was the conversation? The conversation was, man, 20% seems like a big crazy number. It sounds great, but how is that going to be sustainable? Gosh, am I glad that we made that decision
that was
not put it there.
20% was small in the DeFi summer. Right? We had lots of platforms with like over 100%, right? We're talking about hundreds of percent with tons of little DeFi projects and platforms and all kinds of things happening. I mean, I understand, right? There needs to be some level of regulation, but I like how they say it. It's like, hey, like it's what they're promising is way higher than anything that's bank issued, or I think they mentioned equities or whatever it was. And it's like, you got to go look at what the banks are doing. Whatever they're giving, you got to give that. If you're giving more than that, you're not compliant, my friends. You're making us look bad over here, right? Because even if 20%, 15%, whatever it is, was possible for a company to produce, they would still have issues with that. They would not like any company to be able to give that type of percentage out, because banks give you nothing. They give you crumbs, right? Because they keep all the APY that they're doing. And if a company does that, they understand the minute people start catching awareness to this, they're going to start shifting from banks to this other platform. And this other platform is going to steal power and, territory from these banks. And they can't allow that.
Yeah, definitely. They're worried about their own pockets more than they're worried about you getting, screwed or scammed. I want to take a quick pause real quick. First of all, Colorado Crypto Chick. I wish I could see these stickers. It says pair character bowing down saying thank you. So Colorado Crypto Chick, we freaking love you. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. We really appreciate that. I wish I could see the sticker. I can't see it on our app, but I'm sure it looks beautiful. So thank you for that. And I also want to say, Billy says, hey, CryptoKeeper, I don't think there's 56 anymore. Better check again. And then we scroll down a little bit farther, and Brett says there's 43 bags left. So it looks like some people are doing a little damage on the bags this evening. So hey, I'm all about it, guys. We're gonna get rid of
somebody's minting. Same address has minted quite a bit in the last 4 minutes.
We'd never guess who that was, but hey, it might not be. I don't know. Maybe it was Brett, maybe it was Billy, maybe it was just somebody else. I don't know, but we're super excited to get those gone so we can give you a half an ETH. We want to give that half an ETH away. It's literally us basically handing back half of the, the bags that were sold to you, the people, because you deserve it. Also, real quick, I like this one. Time Wonderland was a lot higher than that. Time Wonderland was like 4,000%, I think, is what they were advertising.
Thousands of percent. And these people were up at conferences speaking blatantly about what they were doing. And it's like, let's bring on the expert. Let's bring on the expert, right? CEO of whatever, and they have all this authority. And people are like, oh my God. And it just goes to show you anything when it comes to the media be presented at a conference anywhere, it's fugazi. That does not make them any real authority of anything, of any topic, no matter how much knowledge they have in it. It's still fugazi. So that's why I question everything, trust nothing.
Not gonna lie, I rolled my dice on Time Wonderland. I lost 50 bones. I got beat by Time Wonderland. They beat me. I don't even know what did it turn into? Memo tokens or something like that? I think it was memo tokens.
Yeah, something like that.
Memo. I think it was memo tokens. I still have like some portion of memo tokens, so I don't know. I got beat definitely, but I think that's what they counted on. I think they counted on people looking at the high returns and just saying, "Hey, you know what? I'll throw 50 bucks in." And when you get tens of thousands of people saying, "I'll throw 50 bucks in," all of a sudden, what do you get?
Yeah, it's because they know that the first couple of hundred people that discover it and do it, they're at the top of the pyramid, right? They're gonna make a lot of money. They're gonna go jump on TikTok, jump on YouTube, jump on whatever, and make, hey guys, I just made $5,000 this month with Time Wonderland. Here's how, right? And then that video gets like 30,000 views in 2 days, and then everybody runs over there to make their 5,000, and then nothing. Everybody ends up getting swamped.
Yeah, no doubt. Which is part of the reason, and we're going to roll into this last article. If you've been waiting for it, let's talk about it. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's part of the reason why I think some of this market crash in the crypto space is going to happen. And when it does happen, I mean, it's already happened, some of it, but I think we got a lot more pain to go. So let's talk about what Mr. Kiyosaki is seeing here as it relates to a crash. Rich Dad Poor Dad author says biggest crash in decades is coming. Details impact on Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Okay. Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki is warning of major financial crash that he thinks will have implications on Bitcoin and precious metals. The best-selling author tells his 2.1 million Twitter followers that the largest financial cataclysm since the 1990s is brewing due to irresponsible U.S. federal monetary policies. Everything bubble into everything crash. I warned in my books. The biggest crash has been building since the 1990s. Rather than fix problems, the Fed printed fake money. In the everything crashes, even gold, silver, Bitcoin, your ultimate asset. In the giant crash, your financial wisdom. Kiyosaki details what he sees as a vicious cycle of monetary policy in the U.S., which starts with an unreasonable amount of borrowing and ends with the USD devaluing. According to the Bitcoin bull, the best defense against such an economic environment is Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Number one, the U.S. borrows too much money. Number two, the U.S. interest rates are too low. Number three, low interest rates force the U.S. to borrow more money to buy more U.S. bonds. Number four, to keep interest rates low, which causes inflation, forcing interest rates to go up. Debt becomes too expensive. The U.S. dollar buying, buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. This is a cycle. I actually just did a TikTok on this this morning, maybe. This is a cycle that's happening. It's been happening for a long time. And it's a really simplified way of looking at it, but it's so correct. Think about it. If you just very simply, if you have an overabundance of something, anything, and it's just laying around wherever, what does that do? It makes it not valuable, right? There's one Mona Lisa. Is it because the Mona Lisa is the best piece of artwork on planet Earth? Or is it because so many people know that there's only one? He was incredibly talented and famous, and that's what gives it its value. Yeah, It's the second. If you've
there's
got a million Mona
there's
Lisas,
tons of replicas out there, and they're not
they're not worth
anything.
anything.
They're not worth anything compared, right? Yeah, I mean, you can put a perfect replica right next to the original, and the average person won't be able to tell the original from the replica, but that doesn't mean that the replica has any equal value.
Biomex says, thank you for the super chat. Biomex says, drunken merchants, come get us, get a bag or two. So we've got we've got the drunken merchants. We've got I don't want to cut off what we're talking about, but just real quick, we got the drunken merchants and the naked medics. I have not yet heard.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the other two.
Still waiting for the other two. So step your game up. We got the drunken merchants and the naked medics. Step up to the plate there, hunters and engineers. We need to hear what you're bringing to the table. But yeah, Miguel, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, he's an incredibly smart individual. There's no doubt about it. You can't say anything other. He is an incredibly smart man. Is this crash coming? And if so, why do you think so? And is it really going to affect everything?
Yeah, man. I mean, if he's been talking about this for a long time, he understands that the silver market is manipulated. He understands that the gold market is manipulated. He understands what the money printing machine causes for the economy. That's why he talks about putting his money into real estate, into assets, and not holding US dollars because they're fugazi. So he's been talking about this for a long time. And another person that talks about this is Gareth Soloway. If you've been paying attention to his tweets, he's talked about something called the debt spiral, right? The more we make debt more expensive by increasing interest rates, if we make it too expensive, right, there's debt that we have to pay to ourselves in the economy because we're just borrowing money off ourselves all the time. So it's not just the debt that us, the average citizens, when you go buy a car or mortgage a house, that's not the only interest rate that that affects. That affects the money that the government is borrowing as well, and the fact that somebody has to pay that back at some point. So then you get into a debt spiral where you're printing money just to be able to pay off the debts, which we have already been, right? The what's it called? The debt ceiling for the United States continues to increase more and more.
They move that thing like a freaking, I mean, like a lines and hopscotch.
That thing's like the perfect, rocket to the moon. The thing goes only but up. If there's something that they can defy all laws of physics, it's the debt ceiling. It goes only up and never comes down. So that's going to lead us into a debt spiral. Debt spiral has a lot more depth into what can cause, and it does cause this massive crash. It does cause this massive, economic repercussions all around. So it is a problem to be dealing with, and this overcorrection with too much interest rates is definitely not going to end up well.
Well, think about this. So let's look at the real estate market, because at the end of the day, that's one asset that people look at as being one of the more stable, assets across the board that people look to for stability long-term. Now, there was a period where, at least here, and I know everywhere it was like this, you could put a home on the market and it literally would be gobbled up the moment you put it on. Not only would it be gobbled up the moment it came on the market, but it was massively, we're getting offers that were insane. When we sold our house, we sold probably towards the top of the market. I believe that we probably got an extra $50K probably on what our house was actually worth, if I'm being fair. And then we turned around and probably paid an extra $50K or more for our new house than what it's probably really worth, right? So that was kind of a wash. But what I thought was interesting was the interest rates were so low at that point, okay? What people were able to do is they were able to buy, let's say someone was able to buy normally a $300,000 house. Well, now all of a sudden they could even kick it up to even, let's just say, upwards of $400K, right? Or somebody that could afford $500K, could go to $700, whatever the case may be. These numbers were inflated because the interest rates were so low, and all people do is look at payment. When I was in the car business, the thing that we had people focus on was payments. Why? Because the car dealership is able to keep you focused on a smaller number that seems very chewable for you to be able to digest. And at the end of the day, they're making like some killer money. Well, this is almost what the banks were doing. The banks were saying, you know what? We'll pump out 2% interest, 3% interest. We'll make this interest so low that you will spend more money on these homes. Therefore, you have more liability, which is the money owed to the bank long term. And when you look at it, it freaking worked. Now, here's where it gets wild. Now they say, okay, we're in trouble. We are in trouble as an economy. So what do we do to run back some of this inflation that we have caused, by the way? Well, we raise interest rates. What does that do? Well, then it scares people away from spending money on these homes. Why? Because they're looking at these same payments and saying, wait a minute, I can't afford that. So what's that do? It slows the real estate market down. Then what has to happen? Home prices start to come down. Now, all of a sudden, the homes that people bought 2 years before are worth significantly less. And because inflation is so high on every other commodity that they're buying on a daily basis, they're having trouble paying their freaking bills. What does that end up doing? Possibly, it possibly allows these banks to buy back the same freaking homes that they sold you into in the first place, and then they run you up the river. It's freaking criminal, and it's happening. And I know people don't like to open their eyes, and everybody likes to, not everybody, but a lot of people like to see the best. And I do too. I love people, okay? But the facts are the banks are freaking predatory. There's a reason that 2008 was what happened because of predatory lending. This is kind of on the other side of things. It was
the banks never lose.
Exactly. And this is the other side of it. Hey, we're not hitting you with predatory lending. We're basically pushing you, ushering you into spending more on your home, because guess what? We already know inflation's coming. They're not stupid. And when it does come, crank those interest rates up, slows the market down. Now, all of a sudden, you can't pay your bills and you've got a house that's too much than really you should have paid for in the first place. Holy mackerel.
I think the market houses are selling has been down like 30% in the last month or something like that. I was reading something about that a little while ago. It's crazy that people are gonna realize the mistakes real soon.
This is right. I want to hear you more weigh in on this a little bit, Miguel, but this is right. So Litecoin Leader, shout out to Litecoin Leader. Make sure you guys check out Litecoin Leader. He's got some really good things to say. Check out his YouTube. The best metric is average annual income versus average house price. Way out of whack right now, like 9x, needs to be 4 to 5x. Let me put this into perspective. The 2008 crash, which was massive, okay? It got up to 7x. It's at 9x right now, okay? There is a problem, and it is gonna come to fruition. It is happening right now. Miguel, so that's the real estate side of things. We've talked about some of the banking side of things. Why is the crypto space being so negatively impacted? We've talked about a lot, like, well, crypto is supposed to be, kind of a hedge against all of this inflation. Why is the crypto market being hurt so much?
Yeah, the problem with the crypto market is, and the way it's evolving this way, is because we have more institutional investors in now, right? We have more institutional investors in publicly. And on top of that, right, crypto is a risk-on asset, even though when you understand Bitcoin, you understand, solid, hard money, then you understand what Bitcoin is and why it is a hedge. But the fact that it gets pushed down along with the rest of the market because it's a risk-on asset, because it's an emerging market, because it's still the new kid to the block, right? And the institutions that are now running the market and are in it are going to dump on you, right? They're going to dump the market on you as quickly as possible because they only see it as, hey, this is a market with high volatility. We can get in, we can pump it, we can make tons of money, and then we can liquidate real quickly, and then put all that money back into real estate, put all that money back into something else, right? And they're just that's what they see the market as. They don't care about Bitcoin being hard money or not. The people that run the markets don't care about money. They don't care about any fundamentals. They don't care about economics. They don't care about any of that. They just care about, how can I make money? How can I make money fast? And then how can I convert that money into an asset that I can then convert into a revenue cash flow producing asset for me? And that's all they care about, right? If you look at Wolf of Wall Street, the movie, what do they talk about? Talk about taking money out of the pockets of the clients and putting it into my pocket. Doesn't matter if the stock goes up, down, sideways. Nobody knows. It's just about getting money out of the client's pocket and we're all the clients, guys. The banks are the ones running the show, right? The banks, the Federal Reserve, they run the show, and every single existing human being is the client. So it's just about getting money out of our pockets and into their pocket. That's the entire game. So you need to be on the defensive on how you can protect your money from that happening to you.
We have a lot of people ask why we dive into some political ideas so much. I know a lot of people ask me for sure on my TikTok, but we talk about it a lot over here too. You see Miguel talk about it a lot. The reason is because the political decisions that are made not even spill, they just freaking pour over or that have financial implications that are massive. Why do you think all these politicians that are so wealthy on a couple $100,000 a year of income, it doesn't line up? Why does it not line up? How do they do it? Well, on investments, right? So I like what Crypto Gamer says right here. It says, watch out, and we'll kind of pull it, kind of tie it up together in a nice little bow for you right here. He says, wait till you find out about the strategic petroleum reserve that is tricking everyone into thinking that oil prices are down, making gas prices affordable during the November elections. I think that Miguel, I believe that when I started to really have my eyes open and realize how much fugazi is in our political system, how corrupt. I used to always think it was like these small countries where you could just like pay off a policeman to get off of a speeding ticket. Like those were the corrupt countries. The reality is our country is corrupt in a big, bad way. And it's not just the political decisions that are being made. It's what we're allowed to talk about and what we're not allowed to talk about. There's a good chance that we could get demonetized on this very stream just for suggesting that our beautiful government here in the United States of America is anything other than 100% kosher with you and with me. And I think once my eyes got open to the fact that, man, these are all games. They are playing games with our life. It's not a game to me. It's not a game to me when I recognize that I have customers in my construction business not spending money the same way because they're worried about what the Fed's going to do. That's not a freaking joke to me, right? And I see it spill so many different ways into our society and our economy. And I think at the moment that my eyes started to open up, it also really disappointed me. It was like, wow, the world that I thought existed is a lot different than it really is. And it was disappointing. It was scary. And it makes me question, how do we navigate it? And that's hopefully part of the reason why you guys watch us, to help kind of pay attention, to bring that question everything, trust nothing mentality. It's not us saying, hey, you can't trust anybody. We're not saying that. We're saying, open your eyes, use critical thinking, and then make a decision, whether that's your investment practices, whether it's your political voting strategies, whatever the case may be. Those things matter, and they matter now more than ever because we're seeing it spill over into every sector of our lives.
Yeah, dude. And one of the ways to combat it, right, that you were kind of talking about is actually this quote. It's not a quote, but I heard it from Andrew Tate, the one and only, right? The legend.
The one and only.
The GOAT. Right?
We're demonetized right now. He just said the name that cannot be said.
Tate, right? Let's put it into Spanish. Tate.
Andrew Tate.
So the man talks about, right, all governments are corrupt. We have to come to this realization. Every single government is corrupt, and that's what you were alluding to, right? We thought that it's just the small countries, that the United States and these big countries are not doing what these small countries are doing. They're doing it in a way bigger pace, right? They're playing Major League ball. These small countries are still playing AAA. So what do you do? What does the average person do? So like you said, right, at a small country, you pay you get stopped by a cop, you kind of just give him a $20 bill, $100 bill, boom, he goes on his way, no ticket, no nothing, and you go on your way. So here you can't do that, right? You're gonna have to give a lot more than $100 bills, right? For that to happen. So what do you do? What is the average person to do? The only thing you can do is, once you realize that all governments are corrupt, is you need to find what country will allow you to access that corruption. In here right now, in the country we're in, we cannot access that corruption because we are not at the level of these multi-billionaires and millionaires. They get to access it. We don't. So you got to find somewhere, right? If you're talking about relocating and finding a way to play this game, you got to find somewhere where your dollars run long enough that gave you access to this corruption so that you can start playing the game at a more even level, because now you've accessed new tiers that you did not have access to before in your current location. So that's kind of where you got to be thinking about these things.
Yeah, it's all a big game, and I like that you're thinking in the like, how do we access it? The problem with that thinking is we should never have to be pushed to that point to where we're wondering how do we access the corruption? It should be, hey, how do we try to flatten the playing field and kind of make this, flatten the curve. That's
the curve of corruption, bro. Gotta flatten the curve of corruption.
We got 2 weeks to flatten the curve, baby. That's it. No problem there. The reality is, guys, you do have to question everything. You do. You have to look at the world that we live in and say, hey, it's not perfect. We've got a beautiful country. I still believe the United States, listen, fought for this country, United States Marine Corps. I'm proud of that. But we have a lot to stand up for, and there's a lot of change that needs to happen, and it needs to start with the lack of division. I know that you see, TikTok dividing everybody. I'll include myself on that. I try to be very careful about how I do things, not because I'm worried about what people are going to think, but because I think everyone needs to understand that, you can love people and not agree. And I think we're at a point in our world where people believe if you don't agree with me, you don't love me. Somebody that I very much like came into a TikTok comment just yesterday, maybe it was even this morning, and said something to me basically that said, that's not very Christ-like, when in reality, I had it plastered all over the video talking about Christ's love for people and that I have that same love and I love everyone. How did she miss that? Well, I know how she missed it. I didn't agree with her thought process. That's it. Like, I wasn't saying anything awful. I was just saying, hey, I'm not going to stand up for that. I'm not going to agree with that. I'm not going to say that. Doesn't mean I don't love you. And I think that's where we need to figure it out. We can still love people and not agree. And ultimately, we're seeing that just all over the, not just political space, but then obviously into our monetary system. And it's getting,
guys, you got to unalive these people with love, right? Yeah. I just want to give a quick little check-in here about the bags. I think there's a lot less than whatever the previous number was, because I just checked right now and people have been minting, my friend. They have been minting.
Let's go.
They're minting faster than the printer can print money at the Federal Reserve. That's how fast they've been minting.
That's rocking and rolling. Yeah. DangerCloseAlpha.com. It sounds like there's not many left. So if you are not already involved in the faction wars, get in there. Listen, they're 0.02 ETH. 0.02 ETH. So jump in there. Crypto fam, we love you guys. We appreciate you. You could be anywhere, but you are here with Debate Crypto on a Monday night. We hope to see you guys soon. We're here Monday through Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like a top.
We'll see you soon.